Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday night at 7 o'clock, WOSFL Weekly. I am your host, Jonny Baillie, and delighted to be joined by Pollok coach Josh Gardner. Josh, we thought, seeing as Pollok were on a wee bit of a tear, we thought we'd better get you on so you can talk about it a wee bit. How you doing, pal?
You're the jinx, mate. As soon as you bring me on, we don't lose, but we drop.
Didn't lose.
Aye, and I knew you were a wee bit nervous about that through the week, weren't you, to be fair?
I was very nervous, mate, to be honest. And then I saw Renfrew and I thought, Renfrew are one of these teams, you know what I mean, that could beat you. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're a good side, and it's just one of those ones where you have done so well over the last few weeks that there's always that danger that something comes back. But no, you're doing all right, mate. You're doing well.
Doing really good, mate. Doing really good. It's going to be hard to top this for Dean last week. I thought Dean was top class last week, to be honest.
Aye, he was in good form.
He was controversial, but he was peak Dean, wasn't he?
Aye, listen, he gives his thoughts. Do you know what I mean? And he speaks his mind, so you can't really grumble. It's what we want, you know. It's people to come on and give their opinions and stuff. And as I said at the time that it can be difficult when you've got managers or coaches like yourself on, because you don't want to like offend anybody or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? And you never know like who's listening or whatever, you know. So it's I get it. I would probably have been the same if I was in that position, but it's good when you get somebody like Dean that doesn't really care. He just gives his thoughts and he speaks his mind, and it's great, and you love it, and it's good. But I'm not looking forward to getting stuck into the results with you after your wee sneaky appearance over Christmas when I wasn't available, and you and PG rattled out a quick episode, which I saw.
I'm always at the top of his text chats. That's why he's happy to get me on. He just can't be bothered rolling any longer.
PG's not available the night because he's otherwise engaged at a certain football game that was going on this afternoon. So
he was on the pitch today, wasn't he?
I think he would have been pretty busy, so it's just as well. I was talking to him during the week and he was like, I says, are you available for next Sunday? He's like, I don't know, maybe I'll be able to make it and stuff like that. And I'm glad he said no. Eventually texted me on Monday and he's like, no, just get somebody else because I don't know how it's going to work out. And I'm glad we made that decision because I don't know how it would have ended up, to be honest. But listen, we'll get stuck into the games. Reminder, if you're watching, great to have you along as always. Comments, questions, anything that you've got for us, then please stick it in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe to the Pyramid Promotions channel. It's much appreciated. If you're listening in audio form, then download the episode, rate and review on your podcast networks. And we are, of course, sponsored by the good folks at Roxburgh Insurance Brokers, GLA Chauffeurs, and, of course, VSN Sport. And reminder, you can hear this episode repeated on a Tuesday evening, I believe, on East End Community Radio. So make sure and check it out there as well. Right, Josh, we'll start with it. I think we'll start with the cup games and we'll get them out the way, so to speak. Scottish Communities Cup. We had Now Ayrshire Radio. We had Evan up at Largs v Benburb doing a bit of build up for us and then capturing the game and stuff like that. 1-1 draw. Largs win through in penalties. Good performance from Benburb to take them all the way to penalties, but that's now Largs' second Scottish semi-final in a row for them. It's quite an achievement for Stuart Davidson and the boys to get through.
100%. To be honest with you, I did fancy Largs going into the game, but I knew I didn't think it was going to be a foregone conclusion either, because Benburb have definitely picked up of late. So they have done really well to obviously go to Largs, take it to penalties. But I think Largs has obviously just shown their mettle there. But getting to the semi-finals, I think probably we probably had a good run in the Scottish Cup and probably had a good chance to get there ourselves. And I think it's probably to show you the professionalism that's needed at times, that it's not always going to be easy, no matter who you're playing or what's going to be happening, and you need to apply yourself. And when you consider how many things that can go wrong in these types of games, where there's so many things that can influence it. It could be referees, it can be injuries, red cards, the full shebang can influence it. you could just be having a bad day. So to get there consecutively is really, really good for them. And I actually fancy them to maybe go to the final. Who is it they get? Do they get Buckingham Hearts?
The draw's not been made yet, Josh. So
Right,
and
okay.
it's interesting because I was going to speak to you about that because we've got Johnston Borough still to play Dundee North End on
Yeah.
the 21st of March. So they play them on the 21st of March to make up the semi-finals, and then the other teams in the semi-finals are Auchinleck and your conquerors Buckingham Hearts. So maybe for the folks that are listening, tell them a wee bit about Buckingham, Josh, because I doubt that many from Johnston, Largs, or Auchinleck will know much about them.
See, to be honest with you, I was I can only speak for
You weren't there.
No, I was there. That was a real tough day for us, to be honest with you. And no disrespect to Buckingham, but we should have been winning the game. I'm not going to come on here and say that we shouldn't have, and we didn't fancy it. We just didn't play well enough in the day. We didn't really show any creativity. I think their game plan was pretty evident for the word go, to be honest with you. I'll be honest, I've not really seen a team sit in like that at Newlands Field since I've been there. They really sat in and frustrated us right for the off, and you could see that was the plan. Wasting time right for minute one, just trying to frustrate us. And do you know what? There's more than one way to skim a cat, and it was up to us that day to be the aggressor. It was up to us that day to take the game to them and bring the creativity to the game. And ultimately, we didn't do it. We didn't do it, and that's on us. I think that's where the frustrating part comes, is because we maybe left thinking, I wouldn't say our effort levels weren't there, or our professionalism or our approach to the game wasn't there. We just came away going, we could have done a bit more there, to be honest with you, in terms of we could have maybe took the handbrake off a wee bit and tried to go for it a bit more. And then, you know yourself, when you're sitting at that 1-0 lead, they've not had a shot and goal, it's at 70 minutes, and bang out in anywhere they got a penalty, which I personally don't think's a penalty. And then as soon as you give teams something to hold on to, they're fighting and they'll scrape for it, and that's the way it does. And see, because now it doesn't go to extra time, it goes straight to penalties. It's a lottery at that point. So listen, fair play to Buckingham, because it's not just us they've done it to. They've done it to Lanark. Who did they beat after Lanark? Actually, they beat some Forneywood. I think it was a summer game with Forneywood as well. I think they battered them for a period of time, and then they hit them with a sucker punch like in the 90th minute or something like that. So you can't take. I would strongly fancy Talbot. Comfortable as well.
We don't know if it is Auchinleck, Josh. The draw's not been made yet. So
Well, whoever it is,
teams.
whoever gets them, I would fancy them. I'd fancy any of the teams to beat them, but you
especially
can't
over 2 legs, Josh, as well, because the semis will be 2 legs again. So you would hope that over
and
2
you need to
legs.
go up there. I felt by all accounts when I spoke to Forneywood, it's not a great trip up there. And you know yourself, but it's like so many things can happen in these games. Like just anything can happen. You could have an off day, and it's the fear of the unknown. It doesn't matter how well you're playing up to that point, because we were in good form up to that point, and we just couldn't do it. And I'll be honest, it's one of the ones that still stings now, that game, to be honest with you.
Aye, it must do, because it's like you said, it's a chance to get to a semi-final. You've got 2 legs. As I said, I think looking at them, going by what you're saying, I think if they could maybe get a one-off result, but I think over 2 legs you fancy.
You know the other thing, Johnny, I know it's not how you have the days in football where you just think this isn't going to happen.
Aye.
And what probably right up to the penalties got me there, and it was, I think your first 2 penalty kick takers were Bob McHugh and Stuart McCann, and the 2 of them missed. And I just thought, I never said it out loud, but this isn't happening. This is just one of these days in football. There's no rhyme or reason to why it's happening. It's just going to happen. They 2 have stepped up and missed. It doesn't happen. Bob's one of the most lethal strikers I've seen in the box. Brilliant. He's not missed. I can't remember the last time Bob missed a penalty in general, and he steps up and misses that. And listen, it's not on the penalty kick takers, because we should have had our job done before then. But sometimes in football, if it's written in the stars, it's written in the stars, and you just need to take your medicine and go on with it. What I'm pleased about us is it didn't derail the league season and the league campaign, and we were quite big on that after the game, that it needs to be buried. The hatchet needs to be buried on the Monday night after we spoke about the game, and that's it.
Yeah,
Can't do anything about it.
No, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see who plays who in the semi-finals, and then could get a tasty final by the looks of it. If depending on who gets there into the West of Scotland Cup. Arbenmeadow beat Muircup 4-1. Hurlford beat Thorn 5-0. Probably no any great shocks there. Maybe the margin of the Meadow and Muircup game maybe would have expected to be a bit closer. I think for Muircup, it's really just about their cup heroics that we've spoke about a lot on the show. They just need to put that to bed now and concentrate on the league. But brilliant for Arbenmeadow to get into the semi-final of the West.
Really pleased for Jamie. I got on with Jamie really well, and I know the effort that him and his staff put into the games as well. And each game they prepare really, really well. I was surprised. I wasn't surprised that Arbenmeadow going through, but I was the same as you. I was surprised with the scoreline. But I think that's probably even a sign of how far Muircups came, because that's probably a scoreline that would have been a foregone conclusion before Ross got the job. So the fact now that we're saying it's because they don't concede a lot of goals, Muircup. I think they obviously went and played University of Stirling last Sunday, and it was 0-0 right up to penalties, obviously, and they went out. But they don't tend to concede a lot of goals, Muircup. So I was a wee bit concerned with that. But you don't know the running of the game, like you don't know the timings of the goals, where they just try to throw caution to the wind to get back into the tie. I'm not too sure on that, but Arbenmeadow, they're going really, really well now, to be honest with you. I think more or less get the league wrapped up. I did text Jamie that he gave me the news record. He gave me the Daily Record answer, so he did. So I'll plenty of time.
He's got to until it's done. Do you know what I mean? That you've got to. But and like you say, Muircup just kind of concentrate in the league because they've got a lot of games to catch up with. And then Hurlford beating Thorn, fairly routine. I seen Derek McMillan, the Thorn manager, talking after the game. He was pleased with how his team acquitted themselves against top level opposition, and they'll kind of take it the learnings from it moving forward. And just to put a bow on that, Kenny was just saying that the draw for the semi-finals of the West will be done live at Troon after Troon v Drumchapel on Wednesday night, which of course was the game that was abandoned last Saturday. So you'll find out if you're watching your team who you'll get in the semi-final of the West of Scotland Cup. Okay, into the leagues then, Josh. We'll come on to obviously the top teams, Auchinleck and Troon and Cumnock. But I want to start with you guys, Josh, because the turnaround has been quite incredible, to be honest. And I think that's what now 4 without loss, 4 wins out of 6. Do you know what I mean? Like what's happened? Like what's clicked? What's changed? Like no change, but what's spurred this run of form on?
See, to be honest with you, so I think might have been the last time I was on the show actually. In 90 minutes, we've not actually lost a game since the 29th of November against Cumnock. And Dykesy scored an absolute wonder goal in that game to win that right late on. But for me, I think I said at the time, if you remember right before Christmas, we had Beeve away and we had Atherley at home. And we kind of spoke about it in-house about we had to win the 2 games if we were going to have any chance of promotion, because I think at the time the way it worked out with results, we could have fell like 6-8 points behind at that point. We then obviously beat Beeve away. Then we go and have a comfortable victory against Atherley, which is no easy to do. You can see that with their result on Saturday. They're a right good side. And then, to be honest with you, we've just kind of kicked on for there. And it's just, if I'm being totally honest, it kind of came out of nowhere. But what I would say about us, even when we were at our poorest state, we were never getting hammered. We were never one of the teams that were getting hammered. So it was always fine margins all the time. And I'll be honest with you, you've probably been there as a coach and as a player. Like when it is the fine margins, but it could be the so minute details all the time, and you're trying to constantly fix it in training. And then I think maybe, if I'm being honest with you, we had a wee bit more consistency with the team selection. We were able to roll out the same team more or less every time. So we were getting like good relationships in the park. Partnerships were building with certain guys. Obviously, we had Stuart McCann coming in, we had Carlo coming in, who certainly helped that. But again, they then need to build the relationships. And you know yourself, the good players, they'll come in and build relationships like that. And it happens really, really quickly sometimes. But for me, I think the continuity has been a key element for us. And we work really, really hard in the training pitch of what we're trying to do as well, to be honest with you. We really work hard at it, and we try and not leave a stone unturned. And to be honest with you, and we've had obviously Stuart Houston come in at the back. He doesn't. We always talk about Carlo and Stu, which is rightly enough. But we've brought in Stuart Houston at the back, who for me has been top draw. To be honest with you, and he's built a good relationship with his centre half partnership. And I think everybody's just went up a wee level. If I'm being honest with you, even the guys who maybe weren't necessarily used to the league and used to playing the level, I feel like they've almost upped their game and they've acclimatised to the level now, so they're a lot more ahead of the curve. And I think Saturday for me was probably we get hammered at home. It was only 2-0, I think, on the day, but we got hammered after them through at home the last time we played them. And we were really disappointed with a draw yesterday away from home. So that probably shows you how far we've come as a team. And long may it continue, but we've got a really, to keep this run going, we've got a really tough game on Wednesday night away to Largs. The logistics of that, the travelling down is going to be really tough, to be honest.
Aye, because is it not? Is it a 7 o'clock kickoff?
7, aye.
That's mental. So I'd heard on the grapevine somebody from up that way had told me that there's issues with the floodlights have got to be off by a certain time.
Is it because it's a residential area?
I don't know. This is just what I heard, and they'd mentioned that this could affect their chances of going up potentially because the lower league will say the games have got to be kicked off at 7:45 or whenever, So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. Again, it was just something that I'd heard on the grapevine that this was, and it's interesting that you're saying that you guys are having to get there for 7 o'clock, and I think Auchinleck are going there as well, and I think at 7 o'clock as well. So it'll be an interesting one to watch because I don't know if that'll...
Johnny, because you need to leave you. Well, I know for me personally, like, I'm in the office that day, I'm going to need to probably leave a wee bit earlier. I'm going to maybe need to try and get in earlier. So it does affect your day. And obviously you've got to travel back up as well. So you're like, but listen, I was in the south of Scotland. Like, it's water off a duck's back there.
No, I know. Listen, sometimes you get that down the level, certainly. Like, do you know what I mean? When I was at Lugar, and I'm sure when you were at WOSFL, where you'd maybe have to, like during the summer, if it was the end of the season, you'd have a game that was maybe like even a 6:30 kick-off sometimes, or a 7:15, and you're just scrambling about to get it. But I think at the Premier Division level, where they're looking to get into and they've got the lights as well. It's not that they don't have; they've got the lights, so it's probably a wee bit disappointing.
So presumably need to be off about 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. That's what this bit, and I wouldn't. You wouldn't know them anyway. It's just that it's a guy for this guy I know for Seamill, and he was talking about it. So he was saying,
I do know him.
And he was saying that they've got to be off by 9. Again, this could just be rumour and conjecture, but we'll throw it out there. We like a good rumour. They've got to be off. The lights have got to be off by 9, and it could affect their chances of going up into the lower league.
Aye, I could see that, to be honest with you. Hopefully that's not the case, because I'd like to see Largs up there as well, to be honest. I'd hate to see them there for a technicality like that, to be honest with you.
Just need to petition the people of Largs to get it, to have a wee bit of leeway. It's only a wee bit of light, it's only an extra hour or whatever it is, do you know what I mean? So get them told. But aye, so you're right. I think everybody's been talking about you guys and they have been kind of focusing on obviously Carlo and Stuart coming in, and obviously Bob McHugh up front and stuff. But it's interesting you mentioned there defensively, what much of a difference. I can't have you on and no ask about the Kerry Omi Maxi a few weeks ago with the social media post and things like that, and then coming out and signing his new contract and stuff. How's he been? Like, how was he through that period and stuff?
I'll be honest with you, so it was more the timing I think that personally annoyed me. It was after a sore one at Buckinghaven, and we were all hurting, to be honest with you. We were, the players were hurting, staff were, the committee were. And I think the comments came from somebody that wasn't even at the game, to be honest with you. Don't you think he comes? I've never met him, so it shows you how much a committee member he was at the time. He's now left. I had never met him. But to be fair, Max, he's been round the block. He's no daft, and he'll not let certain things annoy him, to be honest with you, and he didn't let it annoy him. and we were actually in for contract talks throughout that week. And it wasn't even really brought up. Actually, it was probably me that brought it up. I think, to be honest with you, like surely this guy's either offering an apology or he's out the door type thing. But no, Maxie wasn't bothered with it in the slightest. Listen, I think if you look through social media for the start of the season, Maxie's had plenty of pelters throughout the season, and coming from somebody that's on the committee that you never see and he's never at games and doesn't really know what's going on, then it's what half a ducks back to him. To be honest with you, didn't care. And it's been
I
dealt
think it's
swiftly.
just a great example that you need to give managers time, and you need to back them, and you need to trust them. And I think it's obviously bearing fruit at places like yourselves. And I know we've had conversations around about even Cumnock and stuff like that, and look what they're doing now, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. And Beath have picked up a bit now under Michael Dunlop when they maybe had a wee sticky spell at the start of the season. It does, like, you just need to give you really need to give managers time to get things right, especially this season. But it's been proving great. So you must be really kind of setting your sights. It's consolidating one of those top 8 spots now.
Aye, definitely. Aye. Listen, that was the whole point of the chat before Christmas when we had the Beath and Arthur game. As I said, like if we had any aspirations to do this, it's the old. It's time to get the finger out. Basically, that's what it was. It was it's time to get the finger out and actually put results on the board and stop being the nearly man. Stop saying, "Oh, we could have won that if we done this. We should have done that if we done this." We need to get the points on the board, and that's what we've went and done. But see what you're saying there about committees maybe standing by the managers a wee bit longer. I think you're seeing that through all levels of football now. And it's a minute, even though I've seen it, like, I'll be honest, right? So, see, I really like Forn as a club, right? But if you take David Watt, for example, who was at Forn, done extremely well with them. I think you were waxing lyrical about them every single week. And then he hit one bad slump in the second division and he was away. I don't think that's, I personally don't think that's right. I think, see, at that point, in my opinion, I just think your committee should, at that point, when you're the management team and the team's having a right hard time it, because it's inevitably going to come. It's always going to happen. At that point, that's where I think your committee need to be ultra supportive and get behind them and do it properly. And that's personally what I think, especially if they've done you a good turn in the past. Or in Max's case, he's maybe been dealt a hand that he maybe thought he wasn't going to get at one point. Because when he took that Pollok job, it looks totally different to the Pollok job that he took at the start. And it slowly worsened, and now it's getting a wee bit better. And we've managed to build a right good changing room, a right good management staff, and we've got good committee members behind us, and that's where we're at. And I just think sometimes people jump the gun a wee bit. It's a wee bit knee-jerk reaction. I think if you just sit back and take account of it, and you don't always need to change managers and coaches. Sometimes you can just ride the hard wave and you'll come out the other end of it type thing. But you don't see enough of that. And I think Hibs done it with David Gray, actually. Remember at the point he was ready to get the boot and then he picked it up. So I just think, like, stop jumping the gun. Let the guys get to work, because you know yourself, the management staff aren't sitting in there think deliberately try to do a bad job or deliberately not try to win games. Trust me, they're trying to work hard to turn it around. But bad times happen, and that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so if we look at the top of the league, it's really kind of tightening up a wee bit. I know Auchinleck still got loads of games in hand, but suffered. I don't know when the last time. Maybe when the cycling chainsaw chap, who coincidentally said that he wasn't even going to tune in the night because of the last 2 results for Auchinleck, 2 stinking results in a week. Obviously losing to Hurlford during the week and then losing to Glenafton yesterday. Troon dropped points by drawing 2 each with Drumchapel, and Cumnock capitalised by beating Shots 2-1. So it now leaves the top of the league where Cumnock can go within a point of Troon at the top of the league. Auchinleck obviously have got 3 games in hand, 2 games in hand over Cumnock. They're only 2 points back. But are Cumnock now contenders for you, Josh?
I think so. I think Cumnock are a right good side, to be honest with you. I was quite impressed with them when we played them. I don't think you can rule them out, to be honest with you. They're on a decent run of form. They had a really good result last week in the Cup as well. And Shots isn't an easy game. Shots put it on you. They're a hard team to play against, to be honest with you. Really, really organised, don't concede a lot. So you really need to dig the heels in there. And I think they would have took a wee lift coming off the park. The cycling chainsaw is going to hate this, but I think they'd have took a wee lift coming off the park and seen it gone after and turned Talbot over, to be honest with you. And then seeing that Drumchapel took points off of Troon. So why no? It would be stupid to be that. It would be really daft of them to be there and no fancy themselves, to be honest.
Yep, and Craig's just kind of saying that it was shambles for Talbot this week. Plenty of chances on Wednesday, but deserved nothing. Poor on Saturday, and Glens weren't in a better bad form just now. And I think the issue becomes when you do hit a wee bit of a sticky patch that maybe I know Johnston Borough are the same, losing 3-2 to Arthurlie yesterday. They've hit a
Yeah.
sticky patch, they've lost 4 in the bounce. The fact that you've got these midweek games almost makes it worse because it's like 3 days to the next game rather than a full week. So the feeling of soreness, if you like, is compounded because it's happening quicker.
Aye, and you're not getting any sometimes with where the midweek games are as well. So, like, for example, if we took a sore one on Wednesday night against Largs, we don't see the guys again until Saturday before the game. Normally, you have a training session in between there and you can go through it and you know what it's like. You feel a wee bit better come the Saturday, but you've not really got that. So, it's tough. I think with Talbot as well, like, I think they just set the bar so high sometimes. And when they fall below it, even just dip below it a wee bit, it's like a shock to us all. Um, I just think with Talbot, I don't think that run will last like 4 games the way the Johnston Borough one has, for example.
Well, they play St
Um,
Caddox on Tuesday, so you would fancy them. I know it's away and it's always difficult going away, going to Glasgow during the week, etc. But you would no
yeah.
disrespect to St Caddox, but you would fancy Auchinleck to get back to winning ways in that one on Tuesday.
By the way, see when we played St Caddox a couple of weeks ago, I think it was just after Gary Muir had left. They were good, by the way. They were really
I know,
good.
I think they will be, but I just don't think they'll have enough to beat Auchinleck to trouble Auchinleck. Personally, I think Auchinleck will
No,
just
I
be
know, but it goes
too
back to
top.
what I said, Johnny, about us with the whole Buckinghaven game as well. You can't
Aye.
rest on your laurels. You
And
still need
midweek
to
as
go out and
well.
win.
Midweek, these weird things happen in midweek games, as we know. You know, it happens up and down the country.
That's
Um,
why we love it, innit? Because all
I
these
know,
things, it can
I know,
throw up
mate.
more
I
surprises.
Craig's just saying St Caddox, then Rutherglen on Saturday, so you would hope that they can get back to winning ways then. But I come up definitely in the mix, and it'll be interesting to see. And we touched there, Johnston Borough, four defeats in the bounce again. It comes in such a short period of time
Yeah.
that it's almost like it's like a sucker punch, if you like. But they'll be desperate to get back to winning ways as quickly as possible. And I seen there was a few people giving Murdy a bit of stick, which again we're talking about a bit of patience and stuff like that. They play Hurlford at home on Wednesday, so they'll be looking to get back to winning ways as well.
The only thing is, Hurlford at home on Wednesday is not an easy task.
No,
Hurlford are a right good side. I think, listen, Murdy's no stupid. Murdy knows the pressures that will come with being the Johnston Borough manager, and you need to win games. It's as simple as that. That's the pressure at the club. He'll know that more than anything. He'll know that it's not good enough to run a results.
see for me, Josh. Sorry, just to cut you off, but see for me, the most concerning thing from my point of view was the fact that they played the 3 games before yesterday and hadn't scored a goal.
Aye,
With the players that
aye,
they've got on the park, that would concern me.
aye. And I'll be honest, like obviously we were one of the teams that beat them. Um, but there wasn't a lot of chances in the game, if I'm being honest. Obviously, they missed the penalty against us, which was a penalty, by the way. It was. They've missed the penalty, but outside of that, there wasn't a lot of chances, if I'm being honest with you. And we just managed to take the very few chances that we got. Obviously, our set plays, but we seem to be really strong on set plays, to be honest with you, this season. So that's something we kind of rely on, and that's how we went 1-0 up on the day. But we were glad to get through that because at the time we thought that was going to be a right threatening game to our winning run, to be honest with you. So we were pleased to get through it, but it's a tough run. It's a tough run of fixtures for them, but I don't know.
But well
Hereford,
done, I want to say well done to Arthur as well. I mean, I think
same with
Arthur.
Gunafton. You've got to give Gunafton
Aye,
credit as
no, you
well
do
because
because when Arthur
He's been
have not
sticking
been in
there
a
as
great
well,
run
hasn't
as well. So that's I mean that's sorry up until recently that's 3 wins in the bounce for Glenafton, which again I was using an example last week that moves them up to 11th. And now if you're looking at the teams teams above them. So Hurlford, we know aren't going up. Atherley can't go up. If Largs struggle, then that's basically you're going down to kind of 9th, 10th, 11th, so that could get you into the Lone League West as well. So, and Craig was talking about Beath as well. I think Beath maybe just played too many games. They're up at 21 now. They had a good result yesterday, but it's the teams down at kind of 11th, 12th, 13th are going to be looking at that thinking we could sneak in here if we put a couple of results together.
Aye, and you just hope it's not a case of you're running out of games, though. That's the only thing you need to try and still. You need to put that wee win and run together. That's where I'm so glad about us, is that we've managed to put that run of 7 wins together, and obviously now adding a draw to it. But I think it's so important in this league that if you can put these sort of runs together, you can really shoot up the table, and I think we've probably been beneficiaries of that. But aye, it's going to be tight. I think there'll be a few twists and turns in that, because I think is it the 31st of March is the deadline for the SFA licence, so you might see a few more things in the next couple of weeks about who's really getting it, who's no, and stuff like that. So, because they need to have it in by then, so hopefully it'll become a bit more clearer towards the end of the month. Yeah. Do you think clubs will put out a statement at least a week before?
Aye, I mean, like Hurlford did, so it'll be really interesting. I just saw, Jack Campbell 347's comment about what do you think the turnaround at Pollok is. Josh, I hope we covered that all right for you, Jack. If not, give us a shout. And I suppose just before we move on, Josh, we need to talk about Adam Hope's leaving Drumchapel. So I haven't seen any announcements or anything like that around who's taking the job, but it's Adam's done an amazing job at Drumchapel. He leaves them in a much better place than they were when he came in, and it's big shoes to fill.
So I take it JB still took the team yesterday.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm not really plugged in at Drumchapel. I'll be honest. I'm down in deeper dark as the Usher.
I presume he would have. See, on Hope, to be honest with you, he could walk away with his head held high. He's done more than just develop that club on the pitch, to be honest with you. He's done so much off the park as well with Drumchapel, and stuff that will stay in place for years to come. So he's almost built like a legacy almost there for what he's done for the club. And I don't know where he's going. I don't think he's been announced anywhere yet, is he, or what he's doing yet. So I don't know.
I heard a rumour he was going to Hamilton Accies.
That would maybe make sense, wouldn't it? Because
again, Jonny Baillie throwing out rumours. Do you know what I mean? Just pick a club. He's going to Rangers. He's going to Real Madrid.
You're trying to get a headline, aren't you?
I had heard a rumour. Somebody told me.
That would be a really good move for him, though, because obviously he's in there with Daz, and that'd be a good move for him. Take it that would be full time as well, I presume, as well.
I don't know. That's just what I heard. I was kind of talking to some people, and that was and I heard it from more than one person. So maybe they both can be wrong, but we'll see. But that's what I'd heard. But all the best to him if he does. Like you said, it's a great opportunity for him.
That's a great move, actually. Good
to go in there if he does, and if not. And what about the role at Drumchapel? I don't know too much about the existing coaching staff that's there. Is there a potential for somebody to step up, or do you think they'll look outside?
I don't know. I think obviously JB would be there. It'd be whether he just wants to step up and be the manager. I don't know.
Who's JB, Josh? Just for the people that are listening.
I think his name's. I only know him as JB. I think it's John.
Right,
John
okay.
Brown. I'm going to say it's John Brown. Just go with that. Johnny Baillie could be that. But I think if he wants to step up,
I'll tell you that.
He's up here. You could do it. You and George back in. There we go.
No chance. Thank you. Thank you.
But so I would imagine he would take it, but if no, then because I don't think they've put the job advert out, have they? They've no.
Haven't seen anything
applicants or anything like that. So I don't know. It might be a case that they were maybe just trying to get this week out the way because they've obviously got a midweek game, so they might just be trying to get these next 2 games out the way and then recruit the following week. But I wouldn't surprise Adam. I don't think Adam would just walk away and leave them without a contingency plan. I would imagine there's something there in place. And I think it might be JB at the end of the season. Then maybe if he wants it, he stays on. If no, he might not. Who knows? But there's definitely good managers down the leagues that they could even go and get as well. Or maybe people that are maybe higher up or somebody that's looking for a job. I don't know. But probably the one that would jump out to me potentially would maybe be Ross at Muircut. To be honest with you.
It's interesting you say that. Gamer G Mason, Muircut fan who gets involved in the chat every week. He's just literally just putting the chat Drumchapel better no come for a
He's going to get my windy, and he's going to be egging my windy shortly.
I know. So
sorry, Mason.
I seen in his social media he hit a pothole in the way home the other day on the road the other night and busted his alloys. So he maybe needs a pay rise. So he maybe could be in for it.
Get plenty of money.
I know, right, mate. I don't have the league tables to show you. I was going to, so you know, I borrow these graphics for the West of Scotland Twitter page, and I saw online there's a guy called Rogue Monkey Digital Media. I don't know who he is, but he'd
Right.
done the league tables in the old teletext style, and they look
Oh,
absolutely
brilliant.
class. And I never had the chance to message him to see if it was all right if I could take it, but I thought I'd best just leave it alone just in case. But if you are listening and you get wind of it, it'd be good to get it up there. And then I'll give you a free plug as well, so you can't complain about that. Right, into the first division. I suppose for me, the St Rock's having to just keep putting the pressure on if they can on Irvine Meadow. I know you said Jamie gave you the answer. They're now 9 points behind. They've got 2 games in hand, so they can bring it to within 3. But it's just really important for them to keep winning their games and see what happens.
Aye, it is. Aye, I can't see by Irvine Meadow, to be honest with you. I really can't. They'll be. He did give me the daily record answer, then I told him to shut it. I'm not taking it. It's done and dusted for me. But there's plenty of other life in that as well. On Tony, he seems to have got a right tune out of Winton as well. He's obviously went in and good result against Petershill away, which wouldn't have been an easy game. And then I think he beat Irvine Meadow through the week. Am I right in saying that?
It was Friday night they beat them.
Friday night, aye. So he seems to be getting a tune out of them as well. So there's a lot of good clubs coming out of this league that will go into the Premier Division next year that will be welcomed additions, I think, to that league. Like your St Rock's, Big Kilbirnie side might sneak in there as well. To be honest with you,
I know Kilbirnie will be really disappointed with that because they were on a really good run. They'd won the last 3. Thornywood were really struggling recently. So Adam Coakley will be delighted to go to Kilbirnie, who are in good form, and come away with a
definitely.
3-2 win.
I think he just signed Regan O'Sullivan through the week as well, Forneywood. So that's a good signing as well. Young boy as well. So he's a good player. Gartcairn's a strange one for me because obviously what's going on at Gartcairn we all know, but in recent weeks that's 2 lots of points now they've managed to pick up consecutively, which I'll be honest, I didn't really see coming. I don't even know who's taking Gartcairn now, to be honest, when they're on my doorstep and I actually don't even know. Don't know who's taking them. I did think it was the 20s manager, but then I heard a rumour that he wasn't taking them anymore. But the person that told me that also didn't know who was taking them now. So take it that way you will. Do you know what I mean? You're telling me somebody's not taking them, but you're saying you don't know who's taking them either. So whatever's happened there, they definitely seem to have picked up in some way. So and they've got a wee buff in there with the points that McStay and that got before. So if they could even just put out a couple of wins, you might find them even staying or sneaking into that top 8 as well, to be honest.
I know, I just can't see them when it
No,
gets
neither can I, but you know yourself, if something happens.
Oh no, I know. Listen, I said a couple of weeks ago, Josh, that they will get results somewhere because it's football. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You said yourself it happens, but it's a good result because Lanark have shown themselves more than capable this season of picking up results. And then an interesting team's Nielsen. Nielsen started the season really well. I think they were sitting up at third or running about there at one point in the season, and then I think they've only won 1 in the last 6, drops them down to 12th in the table, and they've played 18 games, so they've played more games than the teams run about them. And weirdly, they've still not drawn a game all season, which is outstanding. They've played 18, won 7 and lost 11, but a good result for Vela Clyde, for John Hughes and Vela Clyde, but a bit worrying for Nielsen because I think maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, we're probably looking at them nailed on for one of those top 8 spots, and now it's looking more difficult.
You know, it's what we were saying earlier, but it's like you talk about going on the winning runs. You see, when you're on the losing run, that can be just as hard to stop as well, can it? It can be a right bugbear at times, and you might know, but sometimes in day games as well, you would actually rather be playing terribly, absolutely shocking football, to be honest with you, so that you would at least have something to fix. You see, when it's just like wee minute details or it's wee stupid things here and there, and you're just being unlucky, it can be really hard. But I feel as if in that league, especially, losing 6 or 7 in the bounce can easily be done, to be honest with you. And I think, but for me, I think that's a bigger result for Vela Clyde especially going by what happened to them last week at Cumnock, because that'd have been a sore one for them last week.
Aye, it moves them
Um,
up to 7th. They've got 3 games in hand over Gartcairn, who are 2 points above. They're in a really strong position, and I think looking
they're
at
really
them,
strong at home, Johnny, but it's a hard
aye,
place to go there as well. It's a difficult place to play. It's tight, and depending on when you go, the pitch might not be the best. But John's done brilliant at that club, like
aye.
really, really good.
There's another
And
one that you could look at for a job at the in the
100%,
in the top
aye,
league, you
there's
know,
loads.
like a place like
There's loads.
Drumchapel and stuff like that. And Neilston actually go to Benburb on Wednesday night, so that'll be a big one. Benburb coming off the Scottish Cup, and then Cumnock go to Rutherglen as well on Wednesday night. So there's a few big games in Wednesday, but that'll be a big one for Neilston in the first division. Right into the second division, Ashfield. I think that's 4 wins in the bounce for Ashfield.
Aye.
So and it moves them up into 12th spot in the league. They're probably not going to have enough, I think, to challenge the top 8, but it's a great run of form for Peter Hill and the guys at Ashfield.
I'm pals with Peter, to be fair. And he was ripping me hair out at the start of the season because I think it just wasn't good enough. And then I actually think he's changed his style a wee bit for what he was saying to me as well. He's tried to be a wee bit more direct in games. I think when they went to Greenock, they were certainly trying to be a bit more direct in the game. And he's signed a few experienced guys as well. He brought in John Barr, which I actually think's a really good bit of business. Obviously, he's been out injured. I think he had an operation and stuff like that as well. He was out for a long time, and obviously he's then needing to build his game time up. So try to get a bit of experience into the squad with him. And they've got a good striker through the middle in Cummins as well, who used to be at Pollok as well. So they've got a good squad. And I think, I don't know, for me with Ashfield, you never know because they're a confident bunch now and they've got that confidence and the momentum behind them. So I wouldn't be surprised to go and see them put a run of wins together. And I think they've got a fair few of their games at home left as well. So, and they're on the Astro and they like to get the ball down and play as well. So, for me, I think I wouldn't rule them out just yet, if I'm being totally honest.
Aye, to be fair, they're another team that's not drawn a game all season, so fair play to them.
It's all or nothing, innit?
Aye, it's all or nothing. The top 2 both win to kind of keep themselves first and second in the league. Bellshill and Three beat 4-5-0. I don't think that's a shocker, but I think Bellshill going to Bonnet and winning 4-2 is an impressive result for me.
I like that. I quite like this league because I think the title race is really interesting as well. Because at one point there, I thought Threave were going to start them off a wee bit. Because I think did they go to Ashfield and get beat, and then they get beat the following week again. So I kind of thought Threave were starting to peel away at that point, but then Bellshill were still winning games and still picking up points. But then they go away. They obviously go and win 5-0 yesterday as well. So I'm quite intrigued to see with that. But I'm going to tip Bellshill for that, to be honest with you. I think Bellshill will win that league.
Aye, I said that before Christmas. I said I fancied Bellshill, but just because my reasoning behind it, and you can let me know if you agree or disagree, but my reasoning was that just the quality they've got at the top end of the park to win their games when they're maybe not playing as well.
But see on that as well, Threave lost a bit of quality in the top half of the pitch as well. With was it Irvine went to Australia?
Aye, PG was devastated.
Ross, he's brilliant. But I tried to sign him at Saints, and he went. I think because he was at Queen of the South at one point. I tried to get him on loan, and he ended up going to Threave. Battle of the setup down there, but they've got a great setup. Threave, they're a very welcome addition to the West, in my opinion. And I think they've got the ability to keep progressing through the leagues for me. And I think they could progress again the next year. They've kind of got everything there. I think have you ever been down? Have you been down to Threave?
We actually went. So we went when I was manager at Anbank. We went down there as for a pre-season friendly down there, and it was great. It was really good.
Were they coming back into the setup as well? I heard they were coming back.
Apparently, yeah. And obviously George was down there 3 weeks ago before he left. He was down there, and he was the same as you. He was really impressed with the setup, the supporters, and then I think they had like about 100 people in the bar after the game, and then there was a function coming in at night and stuff like that. So.
They remind me a wee bit of that, Johnny. They remind me a wee bit of the Linlithgow Rose setup. It's a wee bit like that. That's what it reminds me of.
Looking at the top of the table as well, Les Mahigo get a good 4-2 win against Blantyre. Les Mahigo playing catch up a wee bit in terms of the games, but Blantyre will be pretty disappointed with that, losing that game, especially at home where they tend to be a bit stronger. And another bit of maybe a surprise, if you like, was Larkhall beating Maryhill comprehensively 3-0.
I see you in Blantyre. Andy's done brilliant since getting in there as well, to be honest with you. He's a good manager, Andy, and he's a good coach. His Easterhouse team are really well organised, and he's went in there, and I think at the time they were leaking goals a lot, and he kind of stopped that right away. But Les Mahigo have signed brilliantly. Darrell's got a right good team there, to be fair, and he's signed one of my old players that I had at Albion Rovers, Paddy McQueen, and he's a top player, and I've seen he scored a couple recently as well, so I think Les Mahigo will put a run together. I was shocked at the Maryhill one as well, to be honest with you, because Larkhall have been a wee bit inconsistent here and there, and Maryhill have been good, and we played Maryhill earlier in the year in the Scottish Cup. I was impressed with them, to be honest with you. I thought they had a lot of good young players, very well coached, very well drilled, hard out of possession. I thought they were a right good side, to be honest, so I was shocked at that, and I was also quite shocked to see that Greenock get beat as well, because obviously is that back-to-back losses for Greenock as well, which isn't. It's not like them. They've been on a good wee run as well recently. So
well, it's actually three defeats in the last four. Josh and the other one.
It's not like them.
So it's no winning four for Greenock, but Kilsyth. I mean, Kilsyth have been absolutely flying under Danny and Gavin, so they're unbeaten in 6 as well. So they're going good guns.
Aye, they are. It's good to see that as well, because they're good guys. But it's an interesting league that as well. But it's all about the top of it's the top 2 for me. I'm quite interested. I always keep a wee eye on that to see who's winning what. Because I think that's a good title race, and it could go all the way.
Aye, I think you're looking at the top of the table, and then it's kind of the top 2 are the top 2, and I think they're going to be the top 2 at the end of the season in some shape or form. And then you're looking for the remaining kind of 6 spots out of who's left, and you're looking all the way down to 11th. You see Ashfield down in 12th, Maybola down in 13th. So it's going to be really kind of cutthroat.
When did George leave Maybole then? I didn't even realise George had left until last week.
So it was after the Threave game, was it? Was it after the Threave game?
Was that George's decision to go himself, or?
Aye, it was, mate. It was. The club would have been quite happy to kind of keep him and persevere through the season, if that makes sense. But I think it just George kind of felt maybe he's got a lot of other stuff going on off the park as well. He's really busy, and I think I was talking to somebody the other night about this, and you'll know, being at Ross Vale, is when you're scrambling about trying to get players and you've not got a lot of money to spend, you need to have energy and you need to have time to put the work in to try and find these players and drum up these guys and get them off the street to come and play with you, and all that kind of dog work that people don't see. Punters don't see it. But I think he just didn't have the time to do that kind of work now. Do you know what I mean? And his own work off the park was getting really busy, and it was affecting his ability to be on the phone and trying to make these things happen. So
that's easy, but see, the thing with George is George would have knew what the effort had to be.
Aye.
And he would have knew himself that he was falling below that.
He did. Weird conversations, you know what I mean? Because I would speak to George every day, and it would be the conversation would be about football, like something to do with this player or that player or the team or the training or something. And then it was kind of like every second day, and then it was like maybe wouldn't hear from him for a couple of days, just because he's really busy at work. He's not got the time to pick up the phone, and I said to him,
it consumes you though. It consumes you. I've seen me wake up through the night, go to the toilet, and I start thinking about, if I tell that player that thing, if I tell him, it's not right. It's a unhealthy obsession that goes on in your head, and I can only do from my point of view, like I was getting to the point where my life was getting a bit busy. My mum wasn't too well, and I remember at the point I was thinking about wrapping it all together because I just couldn't do it. And it was my missus, believe it or not, that actually said, "Don't you wrap it," because I don't think she wants me sitting about the house, to be honest with you. But I think, and that's why I kind of decided at the end of this season, I don't think I want to go into management. I'd rather go in as a coach and just focus on the training pitch and I'll try and support Maxi as best as I can, to be honest with you. And that's kind of the role suited me, and the way Maxi works with me suited me as well, and that's why I done it. And it was just interesting to hear the role behind that, because I know what George is like. So I played against his Luger team, and he's full blooded, he's committed, he's there. And what you're saying to get players, he try to get players to these sort of clubs as well. I've seen me sit in coffee shops with players for about 2 hours, and they turn in and tell me no at the end of it, and I could smash the mug right after it, to be honest with you. But that is the sort of
And it's
effort
just,
you need to put in.
listen, that's believe me, if you're watching this, that is every manager that we talk about. You know, there's 80
Aye.
clubs in the West, and every manager is doing the same. And you have to have that level of energy and enthusiasm and kind of drive to go and make it happen, or else it's not going to happen for you. It was one of the things that really let me down when I was the manager at Troon, that I didn't have that. So you need to have that, and when you don't have that, you're going to get left behind.
So even if you look at the top level, Johnny, I remember Jurgen Klopp even talked about that at Liverpool when he left. He just didn't have the energy anymore. And you do need it. You really do. It's funny when you talk about getting players. That's one thing I don't miss about management. I don't miss
No,
it
I mean,
at all.
neither.
Because see, Johnny, I remember, this is not right actually when I think about it. I done basically an all-day shot in a Starbucks in Hamilton, basically, right? And I walked in, I parked my car, and I walked in at the same time a girl was starting her shift, and I came out at the same time she finished her shift. And she's like, "You've been in that whole time." I was basically treating it like an office. I had one coming in after the other. It was like a parents. It was like a parents' evening.
I know.
And I think out of that full day, I got one player. But that's
I
the
know.
effort. You need to do it. You just need to do it, because somebody else is doing it ahead of you. It's just the effort you need to do.
No, that's it. That's it, and it's not an easy job. Right. Okay. We'll get into the third division. For me, Craig Mark really strengthened their grip at the top of this league. I know they're only a point clear. They've got 2 games in hand, but I'm struggling to. I think it's Craig Mark's league to lose, definitely.
Mm-hmm. See, the only thing I would say there, though, Johnny, I wouldn't rule out. I certainly wouldn't rule out Knightswood yet, to be honest with you. They've got 3 games in hand. I think if they win, then they'll go ahead of the Port. Obviously, they need to win the games in hand. And then I'm sure they've still to play the Port and Craig Mark. So that could get interesting going into the last 5 games for me, to be honest with you. I do agree that Craig Mark look in a strong position, but I don't think that league's totally over and done with yet. I think there's a wee bit of life left in it. And I think the Port, Knightswood, and Craig Mark I think the Port and Knightswood will push Craig Mark as far as they can.
I just think Craig Martin know how to win games. And I know Port Glasgow are the same; they've got the experience as well.
Aye.
But I just think Craig Martin know how to win.
You'd also put Knightswood in there as well, but they've won a
Aye.
league last year. They've got a lot of experienced players in their ranks as well. They do have a lot of experienced players in there. I don't know. I just wouldn't rule them out now, but maybe it's just because I know a bit about Knightswood for last year, and I
No,
kind of
no,
know.
I think it's a fair point. You know what I mean? And I think it's just looking at the previous results. What I would say in mitigation is probably, I think Craig Mark have got a lot of away games coming up. You know, which so they're going to need to go to places and as I said, get those victories. And I'm sure they're capable of doing that. But a good win for them, 4-1 at home to Luger yesterday. Port Glasgow go to Glasgow Uni and win 2-0, which I think is a great result. And Knightswood beat Dorai 3-1. So all the top 3 picking up points. Yeah, maximum
I
points, yes.
actually watched the uni team. Was it last Tuesday? I think they played Easterhouse through the week. And obviously, Airdrie Stadium's just right beside me, and I went up. It's the first time I've seen the uni team. I was quite impressed with them, to be honest with you. Second half, they dipped out it a wee bit, but first half, they were really impressive. Moved the ball really, really well. They've got a lot of good players in there. So for me, that's a top result, to be honest with you. And I'm really pleased for Glenville, so obviously I know Lewis well as well. So I'm really pleased that they've went to Yoker and picked up points as well. So I think they're a
Well,
maybe to talk about.
Yoker, that's 3 losses in the bounce after sacking PG.
Aye, he's in there sabotaging it, isn't he? He's just trying to ruin it all.
I know he'll be delighted. He'll be like, he'll have the Yoker scarf off and the Port Glasgow scarf back on.
He's got
Um,
a half. He had a half and half scarf there for a while, didn't he?
I know. But I know you're right. It's going to be an interesting finish at the top end of the league. Port Glasgow play Kello next weekend. Craig Mark go to Glenville, so again that's another one of these difficult away games, and Knightswood travel to Easterhouse. So
it was good to see St Anthony's pick up a victory.
It
It
was really
quite
good.
happy to see that. They've had a tough time with that, and I actually met McDougall, who's took the job at that game that I was at with the uni in Easterhouse, and I knows he's got his work cut out there, but it was good to see them picking up points, to be honest with you, because I don't like seeing that teams getting beat every week. I hate seeing it. Like, fair enough, somebody needs to be at the bottom, but I much prefer it if it's a wee bit competitive at the bottom as well. Do you know what I mean? And they're not just, it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to get beaten games. So to see a wee bit of fight in them is brilliant for McDougall and his team.
Aye, and to go down to Kello as well. I mean, Kello's not an easy place to go. They've lost 4 in a bounce after starting the season really well, but it's still
Who
not.
takes Kello now? It's not the guy that was in the fourth, isn't it?
No, it's Razor. It's Razor. I can't even. I do this every single time. This happened a bit. You've just done this to do me in, because this happened.
Just asking you questions that aren't in the script, mate. Just what
I know, but it's somebody told me, and somebody put in the comments last time his name, but his nickname's Razor, but he's taken over down at Kello. But I thought they were looking okay for one of those top 8 spots, but they'll be slightly disappointed. And Dino will be disappointed, only drawing 2 each at home to Persia.
The Persia's a funny one for me because they were conceding goals at an alarming rate at one point, and then they win. Did they win last week?
Aye.
And then this week I don't know what's went on there, to be honest with
you. They beat Ardere last week, great result.
But do you want to see with that? It's not like it was like, it's like middle of the ground. It was really, really bad at a point. And then it's went into being all right again, and you're like, how's that?
2 weeks ago they get beat 9-0 off Knightswood, and then they've beat Ardere and drawn my way to Girvan.
Wrap your head around that as a manager, by the way. I couldn't. I'd just get them on to train, go, what you all doing? Like, how can you get beat that and then that's happening? Like, that's crazy, isn't it? That's totally.
Sometimes these things, the world works in mysterious ways, Josh, as you know. Sometimes these things can
be on, Johnny, 9-0.
But it can almost be like a turning point, do you know what I mean? Where you say, right.
No, I suppose, aye.
You know, like, what's going on kind of thing. So you never know. But I think the top 3 in that league is going to go down to the wire for whoever wins the league. It's going to be really, really exciting. Okay, into the 4th division. I think result of the day for me in the 4th division was probably Royal Albert going to Irvine Vics and beating them 6-2.
Aye. Obviously, I've got one of my best mates is the assistant manager at Royal Albert, to be honest with you. He was my assistant at WOSFL. Royal Albert have a couple of my players for my WOSFL team, and we've just loaned them Aaron Wilson till the end of the season for Pollok as well. He's come on with 25 minutes to go and scored a header and set a goal up as well, so I'm really pleased for him. Really pleased for Connor and Jonny as well, but for what I've heard, I don't think they were too pleased with the first half. I think Connor went in and tore the strip paints off the wall, to be honest with you. I think he wasn't happy at all. And they've come out and responded and scored 5 goals in the second half and won the game. So whatever he said in that rant, it just shows you, and it's not always about tactics. Sometimes an old good-fashioned hairdryer using it to get your finger out, and they've went out and done it. And fair play to them, because I think the season could have went one way or the other for the Albert yesterday. I don't think you can rule the Royal Albert out of the title as well, to be honest with you. When you look at the games they're still to play, they still get games in hand. The only thing I would say in Royal Albert, and I've said this to Jonny, is they need to stop drawing games. The draws are killing them. And if they can start turning the draws into wins, then they could be in with a right chance of pushing that title towards the end of the season. But they really had to win that yesterday, and they done it in emphatic fashion. So I'm pleased for them. But I'm pleased for Connor as well, and the club in general, because they do so much work off the pitch, and what they're doing now up at Royal Albert. Like, I remember when I first went to WOSFL and I played Royal Albert, with all due respect, they were a basket case, to be honest with you. They were all over the place. And I feel as if with Connor's come in, they've got a new committee, that seem to be really keen and try to turn the club around, try to connect it with the community. They've got youth teams now, they've got full control of their facility, and there's a real effort up there to really push Royal Albert to the next level. And I think to do that, they're going to need this promotion under their belt, and with a steady squad. And I'm really pleased for them, to be honest with you, because I know the effort that they're putting in, and it's obviously similar to other levels. But when you know guys attached to the clubs and you know what they're doing, it's really pleasing to see them winning games. To be honest with you,
Aye, no, definitely. I think they'll be a team. They could be a team to watch
certainly.
next year, assuming they're going to go up. Um, they could be an interesting team to watch how they progress in the
Mm-hmm.
next couple of years, because I think they could. You're right. I think they could progress pretty strongly. Another good result for me was a friend of the show, Barry McColgan's BSC beating UMains 3-2. He said there it's been a difficult 2 weeks, a difficult few weeks, but they've done well and they scored with the last kick of the ball to beat.
What's the update? Is there any more updates on them
I
for
haven't
next
heard
year?
anything. I haven't heard anything more, to be honest, mate. I think it will probably things will probably come out soon, but I haven't heard anything. So I'd be disappointing if anything negative happens. He also just said that there was big defender for Newman's got a bad cut to his head and was taken off straight away. So hopefully he's okay. But I'd be disappointed if they fall away.
Do you know it is, but fair play to them as well, because you know yourself, Johnny. See when you're at a club and all that's going on in the background, and I dare say probably Barry's lucky to get a wee bit of time in the training pitch with the players now, because he's probably having to deal with everything apart from football. So the fact that they're still churning out the victories and they're still being steady, um, it's good to see and good to get a win, because I think Humains has really improved as well for when I was in the league anyway. Um, are we going to roll in Dean and PG for the next result for
No,
Campbelltown getting their first
no.
point?
I know. Congratulations to Campbelltown picking up their first point at home to Giffnock. I saw their social media saying that everybody, all 15 in the squad, was from the town. So congratulations to them. I spoke to Kenny Henderson about St Peter's. He said last week was a shambles. They looked
Kenny's
nervous.
brilliant, isn't he, doesn't he?
Aye, full credit to Carl Luke. He said yesterday was better, back to being us. Another penalty that wasn't a penalty twice in 3 games. We've lost 1-0 to a poor refereeing decision. Need to bounce back quickly to salvage anything from the season. But if we apply the attitude we did yesterday, we'll get there. And I think that's fair. I think TJ Millen 6237 just saying Saltcoats need to get in gear and can still go up. I think there's a few teams like that, to be honest, Josh. I mean, I think if you look at the if you even go down to 12th, you've got BSC in 12th, you've got St Peter's, Saltcoats, Giffnock, East Kilbride, Thistle, Irvine Vicks, all kind of within 10 points of each other. So what we said earlier about these teams putting wee runs together, that somebody's going to need to do it to kind of take control of those promotion spots.
Aye, and it's like I think we obviously it's all coach. They have slowly improved for they've went in. It just doesn't seem for me. It just doesn't seem to be kicking on enough for me, and probably for Stevie's lighting as well. Like they've definitely improved for they came in, but I think it needs to kick on again. Don't think he can keep stagnating. I think it needs to go again, and obviously, don't get me wrong though. I actually seen West Park a few weeks ago against WOSFL, and they are a good side. West Park, they've got a wee bit of experience in there. They made a brilliant signing throughout the week with getting Jai T for St Rock's. That's a top signing. Really, really good player, really experienced. I like him, and when I seen he signed there, I thought, I'll be honest, at the time, I thought that could get them over the line. It was one of the signings for me. That's what I thought. I thought that could maybe.
Do you know what I think is this is weird, right? Do you know what I think might be hampering Saltcoats is playing at Winton Park?
Do you think so?
Aye,
Well,
because
that's
there's
only go for
no
me, right?
strong at home.
See when I used to take my Rossfield team there, I used to hate going there.
I
I
know,
don't
and,
know.
and
The wind
that
machines on, the carry get the ball down, it's pumping,
yeah.
grass is going, it was brutal.
And you need
Um,
to use these things to your advantage, Josh. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that.
I
I don't mean that in a negative way whatsoever. Genuinely, you need to use
no, I agree.
the the surface or whatever to your advantage. You know, and I think playing at Winton Park. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
West Park, a team that play on Astro that'll come there. Giffnock beat them at Winton Park a couple of weeks ago. Again, another team that play in Astro. Do you know what I mean? It's teams are going to come there. The teams that a lot of those teams in that fourth division off the top of our head, you're looking at BSC, Astro, Giffnock, Astro, Carluke, Astro. I know they're playing at Albion Rovers just now.
Well,
Eglinton,
they were at Youth
Astro,
Tinto yesterday.
Eglinton, Astro, St Peters, Astro. I don't know, Rossvale, they're an Astro, aren't they?
They're Astro as well, aye.
They're Astro, Salcoats, West Park, East Kilbride, YM. Do you know what I mean? Like the majority of the teams in that league play in AstroTurf. So
Yep.
if they're taking them to Campbell Park, which maybe isn't in the best of conditions, it's a real advantage for Salcoats. But now they're taking them to Winton Park, where the facilities are amazing, the changing rooms are class. These teams are going to turn up and go, oh, this is all right. Fancy this today.
It'd be interesting if, like, because they're on a better surface, as Salcoats maybe try to play a wee bit more as well, and they maybe try to change their style in the game. Like, because sometimes that happens. Like you know what it's like. You turn up, you go, it's a great surface, and surely we can get the ball down here. But it doesn't suit you, and it's not what you've been doing all season. Then no, you can. Do you know what I mean? So just treat it like you've been doing it at home. But they definitely have maybe lost that wee home advantage. To be honest with you, and it'd be interesting. What's the whole setup there? So when are they moving back this season? Is it not until next
I
season?
don't know if they'll be moving back this season. I'm not sure. That there was something to do with roofing the changing rooms. I think they're getting new changing rooms put in or something. So maybe Stevie can fill me in. He does normally watch. Maybe he can fill me in the situation at Salcoats. But hopefully they can get back to their home ground pretty quick. But just before we finish up, Josh, just a word on EKYM and West Park flying high, top of the league.
Aye. It'll be a good change, a good title race that as well. Who do you fancy for this league personally?
Well, I don't really know, to be honest. My kind of gut said Vela leaving.
I was surprised to see them drop points yesterday, to be honest.
That's what my gut said. I just felt for EKYM to come into the setup and then go on and win a league is an incredible achievement if they do it. But I think it's maybe just maybe a step too far. But they've certainly got the results and the quality to do it. West Park have been there or thereabouts for a wee while, and I just felt Vale leaving, coming down last year. I felt that they had a good side and they could do it. What about you?
Would love to see Royal Albert do it, but I think it's hard actually. It's hard.
Get off the fence, Josh. He's a team.
I'm going to go West Park.
Right, okay.
Just because of the signing through the week, and I think if JT stays fit, I think they've comfortably got the best centre mid in the league for me if he stays fit, personally.
Hopefully, EKYM don't realise this podcast exists then, because they're still.
I do like EKYM. Obviously, we played
I
them.
think PG would affect him.
Aye, but he doesn't know what he's doing, so we're going to bother about. What about the Premier League? Because you're telling me to get off the fence. You said there's a few in it.
No, I still think Auchinleck will win the Premier League. I do.
You think so?
Aye, it's not a trendy pick, but I just think that strength. They've signed. They've brought in a few players during the week. I think they're just hitting a wee spell in the last couple of games where they've just dropped off. Like I said, they'll beat St Catholics on Tuesday. They'll probably beat Rutherglen on Saturday, and then they'll just get going again. Do you know what I mean? I still just can't see past Auchinleck, but my heart says that I would obviously love Troon, my former team, to win it. So my head says Auchinleck, my heart says Troon.
No, got you.
Are you allowed to say, seeing as you're in the league?
I think we'll win every game. Talbot and that will get beat every game, and we'll win the league.
Right, what about the rest of the league? What about the first division? Are we going to have Meadow?
I'd love to do that because Jamie's just texted me there saying, delighted you're doing the podcast tonight. I'll stick it on. I'll go to sleep quickly. So I'd love to no say him, but I will say him because it's going
right.
to be.
Second division, Bellshill or Thrieve or
Bellshill, I've already done that. I'm off the fence with that. I tell you.
Bellshill, yeah, I went for Bellshill as well. And then third division, Craigmark, Port Glasgow, Knightswood.
Going to go Craigmark.
Craigmark.
I've pure contradicted myself there because
I know you just spent the last half hour.
I just don't think Knightswood can be ruled out yet.
I know they're a really good side. They are a really good side, and I think they'll have a big say in it. But I just think Craigmark have got enough credit in the bank, and I think they've got enough experience and nous to know how to win these games that will get them over the line. That's what I think.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. You don't need to pay attention for the rest of the season then, because Josh and I have told you exactly. Josh and I have told you exactly what's not going to happen by the looks of things. But Craig's just saying Craig Dunlop is the manager at Kello, who I believe his nickname's Razor. And Cycling Chainsaw Chap just asked how many scarves PG's got. He's got enough for a full league table. To be fair, PG and I were laughing. We were saying that we should have we could put on a different club's training kit every week and have enough for the full season between the two of us. So
good job trying to get a kit off of Pollok, because we're skint. We can't give you kit. You need to give his money.
I know, but I'm really grateful to have your time tonight, Josh. It's good to get insight on the goings on at Pollok, because obviously it's been a up and down season, if you like. But it's been going great guns in the most recent weeks. So it's good to catch up with you and to get a wee bit of insight into what's going on at the club. So thanks for giving us your company and your time on the Sunday evening.
No, I've enjoyed being on, mate. I love coming on. Just love talking about football, to be honest. We just love talking in general. And it's good that it's better times as well with Pollok, because it's a great club, and everything. It's been just really good there the last few weeks. Last couple of months, it's been brilliant. Fans have been really behind us. Everything's been good. Hopefully, we can keep it going on Wednesday night, but that's going to be a right tough game down there on Wednesday. So, I'm enjoying that.
Aye, no, definitely. Kevin Deeney was obviously listening to the podcast. I don't know if you've seen it, but the 2-0 draws back-to-back weeks for Eglinton, Josh, not acceptable. But they get their fingers out and get beat.
In fairness, by the way, he's done something in the 4th division that I never achieved for 2 years. I don't think I ever had a 0-0.
No.
Kamikaze football for my team, that's what it was.
No, definitely. I don't think there wasn't a 0-0 across the whole region at the weekend, which is what we like to see. But unfortunately, we didn't. We were this close to the 4 goals a game that I like to always aspire to. With 147 goals in 37 games, 3.97 goals a game average. Josh, can you believe it?
Who let it down? Who's the culprits? Who let it down?
We had a couple of 1-0s. Do you know what I mean? Which is never good. EK Thistle beat St Peters 1-0, which is always disappointing. But there's a lot of 2-1s this weekend. A lot of 1-1s, 2-1s. You know, the first division doesn't seem to be a lot of goals in the first division, which is unusual. Second, third, and fourth usually carry the can. And even in the Premier Division, I think there was only 2-1, 2-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. Do you know what I mean? So Premier Division needs to get playing some more expansive football, please, to get the punters back through the door. But we nearly made it. 3.97, 0.003 away from my dream average of 4 goals a game.
Can't you whack that for value, can you?
You can't, mate. You can't. And like we said, there's midweek games going on. Troon played Drumchapel in the quarter-final of the West. We've got league games on in both the Premier Division and the First Division. And then a full league card. A full league card next weekend, Josh.
We've got we playing Kilwinning.
No cup games next weekend, as far as I'm aware. So a full league card. Auchinleck play Rutherglen, which will be massive. Troon go to Glenafton. Cumnock go to Hurlford. As you said, you guys are away to Kilwinning. Looking into the First Division, Darvel play St Roch, so that'll be interesting given the carry on with Nacho at the last game. So be interesting to see what the Candy brings down to that one. Muirkirk go to Thorneywood, looking to get the league campaign back going again. Bellshill play Blantyre in the Second Division, which will be a big one. Cambuslang, who are going well, play Lark Hall, and Thrieve host Thorn. And then in the Third Division, as I said, Craigmark go to Glenvale, Port Glasgow are at home to Kello, and Knightswood away to Easterhouse. And then in the Fourth Division, massive game at the top of the Fourth Division next week, Josh. EKYM play Vale of Leven.
Oh, that's a... Wait, who's at home, EKYM?
EK.
I'd fancy... Do you know, EKYM have actually got the boy... It was at Kello, the boy Greg, is it? Remember Greg Miller? Do you remember him when you were in that league? Good player, rapid, scores a lot of goals. I fancy EKYM at home, to be honest with you. They do play good stuff, but they've got a few experienced boys in there as well. They've won a lot of amateur as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So loads of big games over the next few weeks. Midweek games, there'll be games. Get yourself out of the house when the weather's getting nicer. Go and support your local team. They will really, really appreciate it. Until next Sunday, when I believe PG will be back with us. I have been Jonny Baillie. He's been Josh Gardner. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the Pyramid Promotions channel and download and rate and review on your podcast networks. We have been sponsored by Roxburgh Insurance Brokers, GLA Chauffeurs, and VSN Sport, and you can re-listen to us on Tuesday evening on East End Community Radio. Until next Sunday, take care of yourselves and each other. Cheers.